Greetings. My name is Crystal Carr, and as you can see, I've survived Social Work 300. So this will basically be a brief overview of what I've learned in the class, how I can use it, how I've changed throughout the course, and things of that nature. Well, throughout Social Work 300, I've certainly learned an abundance of information, so much that I had to write it down, and I have a little transcript of what to read. Okay, so from the things that we learned about hypotheses, using SPSS, data entry, conducting research, comparing variables, of things of that nature. So usually, when you ask a college student to define hypothesis, the first thing that comes to mind, we all learn it's an educated guess. However, it's so much more than that. A hypothesis consists of independent variables, which is the causal, and dependent variables, which is the effect. So the independent variable is the cause, the dependent variable is the effect, and the conclusion is drawn based on the relationship between the two. So in Social Work 300, we basically completed several exercises analyzing cause and effect relationships, and after we analyzed the data, we had to communicate our findings, which we communicated our findings using APA-style data tables, pie charts, bar graphs, PowerPoint, posters, things of that nature. So I was very familiar with most of the ways to communicate our findings, except the poster. I had never printed a poster, a 24 by 36 poster. It was large, and it was nice. And I really enjoyed completing the posters, and I take pride in the work that I completed. Okay, turn the page. Oops. Okay, now, we were given data sometimes, but we also had to, enter the data ourselves into SPSS, which stands for the Statistical Package for the Social Sciences. So at first glance, SPSS seems very intimidating, but it's fairly simple. So the first column of SPSS is called the ID, which is basically the survey number. And then the following columns are used for your questions. So you will basically label each question, and then each question will be considered a variable. So in order to make sense of the data, you have to define the values for each variable. So say if the question was, are you homosexual? And the answers were yes or no. Yes, you would define it as 1. So everybody who said yes will have 1, basically. And that way that the processor can, you know, understand the information, and you can use it to process other features, such as creating the crosstabs, which allows you to compare different variables, or you might have a control variable. I forgot to mention that one. The control variable is like your race or your sex, and it basically also has an influence on the cause and effect relationship. Okay, what else? Oh, you can do, also SPSS allows you to run frequencies. It can allow you to create bar graphs, pie charts, things of that nature. Okay, in order to complete our survey research report, we had to use SPSS and Google Docs. I had never created a survey in Google Docs, and it was very simple, and it was very easy. Oh. All right. I did my survey on homosexuality, even though my hypotheses was not supported by the research. It's cool. But Social Work 300 also introduced us to other programs besides Google Docs, like Prezi, which is basically like an interactive PowerPoint, but it's better in my opinion. We also use Tech, which was the unique portfolio. Um, we also use Ning, which is a social networking site for social work students, basically everyone who takes Social Work 300. And I also loved Extra Normal, which is, it allows you to create an animated scene with the characters. It's pretty neat. And all of these little different sites we were introduced to, we can use them in other courses. Like I created a Prezi for one of my other social work classes. Got an A on it, by the way. Okay. And I would say, like, the information learned in Social Work 300 would be very beneficial because I know in my profession, I plan to do research, and it was a nice little introduction to, conducting research, the ethics, and including a little fine print. So it was a nice little introduction for me to conduct research. And then, just all the different programs we used. Like I said, I was able to utilize them in other classes. Um, my video was going over 3 minutes. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. But anywho, um, before this class, I was a big procrastinator, but I always got my work done. But there's no room in this course for procrastination, so I had to end that like real fast. So I would say if you are imprudent, you need to have a self-eval and change some things up because you will be stressed like I was when I tried it. So get that out of mind. So every task, every homework, every assignment, every project, every quiz has a deadline that you must meet or you will not get a grade. You will get a grade actually, an F. But she don't want to hear it. So you can't try to hit her with a sob story about the internet messed up or you don't have a computer because she gave you the deadline on a course calendar beforehand, so it's not going to work. Got to be formatted correctly. Um, a lot of assignments are due on the same date, so I would suggest time management. That is key. Time management. Tighten up. Okay, but I'm going to wrap my video up nicely. And I would just say make sure you pay attention to the deadlines, manage your time, don't wait till the last minute because you will have some difficulties. So lastly, I would just want to say that we cannot excuse imprudence, we can only improve it. So you need to work on it. And a wise man once said, if you do not, darn it, he said, those who fail to plan to fail. So in closing, only strong survive. You see, I got my button. It's on this side. I survived. Ooh. All right, have fun. I did.